Hi guys, Robert Rivera here with the Rivera Trading Group, and this is weekly recap, I believe number 75. These are going to be the trades that I actually took this week. Last week I did a review of all of the trade setups for New York and London on the supply and demand strategy, and it's pretty obvious from the results that it is very consistent. This week it's the same thing, and instead of going through all of them, I'm just going to go through the ones that we went through, which was only, I believe, 4 trades this week, Monday through Thursday. Did not trade NP, so let's get right into it. As price opens here during London, it leaves a gap right away. I'm looking to mark up that gap with a possibility of taking a demand move to the upside when price returns. However, price ran right through demand, and so I ignored it. We also were watching GJ and gold at the same time and just looking for a setup that made sense, as this price just kept moving up and up. As it kept moving up and I see the candles beginning to lose a little bit of steam, I said to the team, I wonder if there is something to the left, like a supply to the left that I just didn't pick up on. So I immediately went to the left. It took me a minute to get to it. Let's go to the 15-minute, and there you have it, right? And if I go down to the 5-minute on this, I'm going to see that there is a 5-minute somewhere around there that goes all the way across. And this is basically now where I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, hey, this is rejecting pretty good. Let me go ahead and set up a trade here if it breaks the low. And so I'm waiting for it, and there it is. It broke the low. I went ahead and entered right there. I'm expecting price to come pretty close to the fair value gaps that are down here, especially since this was a bullish one that got crushed through. So I'm thinking price is going to come somewhere around here. Price is going to come somewhere around here. But 2 to 1 is good enough for our exercise. It gives us plenty of room to catch that 2 to 1 without before reversing. All of these are fair value gaps. If you just do a fib retracement and then continue to the upside, and so that was that. And you can see how it went straight to that spot and began bouncing from there, and it eventually reversed. So we took that 2 to 1 and closed the night and went to bed. Let's go to the next trade, which was the next day. So now this is gold on the 5th of the month, and I noticed immediately that there are a couple of supply possibilities. This one, and immediately also upon the open of London, it created one, but it didn't touch, right? I'm looking for that touch. This would have been a nice win here had I taken it, if I take it at the first touch. But again, price is very bullish, right? Price was very bullish on gold coming from this big, massive move. Here is the 50 moving average also running up pretty fast. And so I'm really concerned that as this moves up, it may not really give me an opportunity for entry. And sure enough, it runs right through the first supply, and on the second one it hesitated for just a moment and created this right here. I had a zone marked all the way up here because I like to put my supply and demand setup, but also I like to put my support and resistance setups, because support and resistance has been my thing for quite a long time, so I know it very well. And I'm waiting for price to return to the zone and give me an indication of rejection. Here is the touch of resistance. This is basically the retest. I'm looking now for an indication of a breakthrough to the upside. The next candle does this little move right here. I'm still waiting. And as soon as it gives me this right here, and again, now it's past our time, but we stayed with it. We stayed with this one for a few more minutes, and finally there is the breakthrough, okay? So went ahead and put my position somewhere around here is where I entered. Stop loss goes below the wick. This should not return. 2 to 1 is going to be the initial take profit partials. Move my stop loss to break even, and I let this baby run. I went to sleep. And this thing ran all night. It went down, came down a little bit at some point here, pretty close to entry, but it did not touch it. And then it went for whatever it was, 100 and some. I mean, there it goes, all the way up here. Take profit was, I believe, let me look here real quick. Take profit was set to 21, 30, 30, 36, somewhere on here. And this thing went that much higher. I mean, from the zone, this was already 109 pips. I told the team we could get about 120 out of that, but I went ahead and put my entry here because I was going to sleep, and sure enough, that's where it touched. And then it went about 100 and about 80 more before it stopped and turned around. That was a massive, massive win. a beautiful trade, and that was that. I woke up in the morning to see profits. Very happy. Okay, let's go to the next trade, which I believe is also gold. Let's go take a look at it. All right, so this is gold here on the 6th, and as soon as the market opens, it leaves potentially a buy situation right here, and I'm looking to potentially take that, but let's see what happens. Price created another one up here, and I'm thinking, okay, potentially that's another area where it could, but price just breaks through, comes to the next demand and breaks. Well, it hasn't broken through here yet, but basically creates what I perceive to be a level of support right here. And I estimate based on the price action that this is not going to hold, that this is going to break through. We already have a potential support here that got broken through and retested. Now we have created another support here, which is likely to break and retest. And so if it breaks through there, I'm going to take it. This is basically what I told the team, and this is what we did together. I basically ignored this support here. I'm thinking price has turned bearish for the moment, and the 1 hour is bearish at this point, and so I can take entry will be as soon as it breaks through here. And so let's see it happen. There's the break. Here comes the entry right around there. Stop loss very tight right there, going for a 2-to-1. I don't believe that we got the 2-to-1 on this one before the session closed. Somewhere down here, yeah, it didn't hit. It didn't hit. Somewhere down here, we went ahead and closed it for a beautiful almost 2-to-1, not quite 2-to-1. And we closed the day and we went to bed. Onto the next trade, which I believe was GBP JPY yesterday. The first thing I noticed as London opens, this is the 7th. When London opens, is that we are on a downtrend, right? Everything is pointing down, including the 1 hour is also bearish. And so I'm looking for some push up that will leave me a fair value gap at the top that I could take to the downside. And so there it is, a beautiful gap right there, that this will become my supply right here. And I'm looking for price to return to it and give me a rejection signal. However, this is what happened. It came just barely to it and didn't quite make it there. And so basically, I approached this the same way as I did the other night with gold. This is now created a level of support here, even though this is just a 5-minute support. This actually works, especially if you're going with the trend, looking for the break of that, and I'm going to take it. And it happened pretty quickly after that. There's the break. Okay, entry goes right around right there as I was breaking through the support. Stop loss goes right there and go for 2-to-1. And these are the results. Boom. It took a minute for it to reach, but it did hit there. And so these are the actual trades that I took for the week. Supply and demand continues to work very, very well. In this case, there were a couple of them that didn't quite reach the supply. And so I went ahead and resorted back to my, what I call the secret sauce, which is basically a continuation trade with the trend, right? I have to have everything line up with me in order to take it. I need to have confluences with the higher time frames, and I need price to be breaking support or resistance in the direction of the trend, which is what it did here. And in fact, you can see how clearly it broke through and retested and dropped again. So whether it is taking it as a breakout, I usually take it as a breakout because it's a continuation move and I can take the impulse and be done with it. But whether it is that or a break and retest, you can see it right there as it paid off also. And those are the trades of the week. I hope you found this informative and I hope you found it helpful. These are the strategies that I'm focusing most on during London, which is the support and resistance, the breakout and retest, and also supply and demand. They work with amazing consistency, even though there are some glitches here and there. We have not experienced a loss, I don't think, in a week and a half or 2 weeks by following these simple strategies and being patient with the setup. And so I'll leave you with that, and I hope that, again, it was helpful to you. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.